Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today on the final day of the YALI 10 Summit. Woo! My name's Liz, and I'm the special coordinator for the Young African Leaders Initiative at the U.S. Department of State in the Bureau of African Affairs. We are thrilled to celebrate the 10th anniversary of YALI, a program that brings together inspiring and impactful change makers from across the continent. Ahead of this summit, we held a YALI 10 competition under the theme YALI at 10, My Life, My Community, and My World. This competition was open to YALI alumni and selected network members who've been especially active in their communities. We received more than 200 competition submissions in the form of videos, short essays, poems, songs, spoken word, and sketches. If you've been with us all week, you may have seen some of the inspiring submissions we received during the breaks. Choosing winners among these 200 submissions was no easy task. They are truly all inspiring. Embassies, regional leadership centers, and the YALI team in Washington, along with the Wilson Center, reviewed these submissions. And with great difficulty, as all of these submissions were so powerful, we narrowed it down to 15 winners from each program, the Mandela Washington Fellowship, Regional Leadership Centers, and the YALI Network community. All winners will receive a YALI 10 Can't Stop, Won't Stop prize pack, which includes a backpack with the following items: 3 leadership-themed books, courtesy of the Department's Africa Regional Services Office in Paris. Those are Getting to Yes, Negotiating Agreement Without Giving In, Leaders Eat Last, Why Some Teams Pull Together and Others Don't, and The Confidence Code, the science and art of self-assurance, what women should know. And yes, this advice is great for men too, so everyone should read it. You'll also receive a certificate of recognition, some YALI swag, some notebooks, sticky notes, highlighters, and a few additional goodies, everything you need to plan your next big project. And so, without further ado, in alphabetical order by country, I will name the winners. First, from Botswana, we have, and apologies in advance if I mispronounce anybody's names, but I'm doing the best I can, so thank you. All right, first we have from Botswana, Dr. Chizani Mbenge. From Cameroon, Mukawa Che. From Chad, Kumtebe Elise. From Ghana, Isaac Benyi. From Kenya, Albert Mungeka. From Kenya, Nzani Zani. We had a group submission from Liberia with 3 alumni and network members, which were Sunny Markar, Gertrude Tozai, who you may have seen in this morning's plenary, and Edmund Capex Pai. From Nigeria, I'd like to recognize Folaani Aina and Uche Udekwe. From Rwanda, we have Ineza Umoza Grace, who is also was a part of our YALI advisory committee and a part of a team that helped plan this summit. So special thanks to you, Ineza. From Tanzania, I'd like to recognize Hyacinta Ntuyeko. From Uganda, Susan Mukabaya. Then we have 2 winners from Zambia, John Zimba and Chifwanti Zulu. And finally, from Zimbabwe, Linda Sibunyoni. We also have some special prizes for our top 3 winners. So I'll go from 3rd to 1st place. Our 3rd place winner will receive some bonus items in her YALI 10 Can't Stop, Won't Stop pack. And she is Hyacina Uteko, a social entrepreneur, women's health advocate, and 2015 Mandela Washington Fellow from Tanzania. Tired of seeing girls miss school because of their menstrual cycle, Hyacinta founded Glory Pads, a company that sells innovative bamboo sanitary pads, provides menstrual education to boys, men, women, and girls, and funds with local charities. In her essay, Hyacintha writes that the leadership and practice gained through the fellowship helped her to run and grow her team and secure local and international partnerships, which increased her revenue up to 10 times. Incredible. So congratulations to you. For our second place, the bonus prize is one leadership coaching session with the one and only Joni E. Karma. Joni is the founder and CEO of the Mindset Group, international corporate trainer, and a leadership and transformational coach. Joni is also an advocate and passionate about mentoring women in leadership skills and living lives they love through personal growth. If you didn't see it, please go back into the summit. You can find in the Art of Servant Leadership a special session she did on emotional intelligence. Joni also appears in 2 YALI Network courses. The first is Developing Mentoring and Supporting Youth Leadership, and the second is Advancing the Role of Women in Politics, Peace, Security, and Economic Institutions. And so the second place winner today is Uche Udekwe, an active YALI Network member and 2018 Regional Center alumnus of Nigeria. In his video, please mute if you're not speaking. In his video, Uche shares that he was devastated when his sister-in-law died during childbirth, and he vowed to do something about it. YALI was life-changing, he says, and it taught him that leadership is really about service. Today, Uche runs Natal Care, a social enterprise that focuses in healthcare, medical monitoring, and emergency services for at-risk women, reaching them in their hometowns and villages and advocating for better access to healthcare at primary centers. Congratulations, Uche. Finally, we have our first place winner. First, I'll announce the prize. The grand prize is 3 leadership coaching sessions with Harvey Floyd. Harvey is an organizational psychologist, senior executive coach at the Wharton School in Pennsylvania, and he specializes in the areas of diversity and inclusion, leading and managing complex change, executive development, and high-performance teams. Harvey is deeply committed to building thriving and inclusive organizational cultures. If you missed it, he also did a session during this summit on the art of servant leadership, talking about high-performance teams. Both Harvey and Joni are incredible people, friends and mentors, and I know that you'll enjoy your sessions with them. And so without further ado, I want to congratulate our first prize winner, Dr. Chidzani Mbege, a 2019 Mandela Washington Fellow from Botswana, for her poem, The Shy Girl Who Refuses to Die Shy. And I could read an excerpt from her poem, but it would definitely not do it any justice. So I would actually like to invite Dr. Mbege to read her poem now.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. My name is Dr. Chidzani Mbenge, a 2019 Mandela Washington Fellow, and I'll be reading my poem entitled The Shy Girl Who Refuses to Die Shy. Despite the palpitations, the stomach, I brace through leadership, for I'm a YALI alumni that discovered that I'm a leader on. I do not someone else. I can be the best version of myself. Shy and reserved, I was born, but with its flying capability, and its strength is swimming. Harmony, responsibility, analytical, consistent developer are the Gallup Clifton strengths capitalized in. Empathy, quality, health, integrity, humility are the core values that I live by. Health specialist in the making. I speak health system strengthening and management. I speak evidence-based policies and interventions. Best practices from YALI leadership in management. Best practices from Atlanta, home of the biggest public health institute. Inspiring and mesmerizing visit to CDC Atlanta. I dream of the birth of Botswana Health Institute of CDC Botswana. COVID-19 pandemic, what a blessing in putting health theory into practice, responding to a crisis, the practical issue, overseeing the country, that is leadership. guidelines for trainings, fieldwork, community engagement, teamwork, partnership, networking, on chains of transmissions of COVID-19 in Bhutan, altruistic servant leadership in the face of the pandemic, the Martin Luther King selflessness. It takes a village to raise a child in Africa. Matangwani village, and it is my turn to give back. I lead Matangwani Training Organization, advocating for community development. Parting with a purpose in Atlanta, we are raising funds for a non-profit. Emulated by family fun days in my village, Matangwani, we are fundraising through entertainment. The power of collaborations, collaborating with Dare to Dream organization. 8 Matangwani village students flew in an aeroplane for the first time on a fly for STEMI experience STEM careers. Despite in my stomach, I lead. Despite the anxiety, I knock on doors. I'm the shy girl who refuses to die shy. I'm a young African leader. Thank you.
Thank you. I love it. I love it. You took us on such a beautiful journey in your poem from a shy girl to a leader, a public health specialist who's making a real difference now in this pandemic. And it was just so beautiful. I'm going to cry. Thank you. Thank you. I want to turn it over now to Dr. Monde Muyangwa, who is the director of the Africa program at the Woodrow Wilson Center and our implementing partner for this summit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Liz, and congratulations to all of the competition winners, and Dr. Mbenge, Pula, and blessings indeed. Just absolutely thank all of you. I join with Liz in her words about just how inspiring your submissions were and just how much they captured what YALI has been able to do over the last 10 years. And I want to thank you all in joining us for this last day of a YALI 10 summit. And what a summit it has been. But first of all, I want to start with some announcements in terms of what you can expect going forward. First, we are sending out to all of you a survey about the summit. You'll receive this via email. We'll also post the survey to the event webpage. Please take a moment to respond to the survey. Your feedback would be greatly appreciated as it will help us to see where we did well. It will help us to know where we can make improvements, and it will help us to build an even stronger YALI programming for the way ahead. So please, please, please do take a moment to give us that feedback. Second, after the closing remarks from Ambassador Godek, we are going to have some closing entertainment, including the full YALI at 10 montage. The networking rooms will be open, so feel free to continue to connect with other participants and our speakers as well as partners. The lobby is also open, and this will be an opportunity for you to continue networking and chatting with others, so take advantage of that. The expo as well is open, so continue to visit the various booths that we have out there. Third, some of you have asked about translation. We will not be able to translate everything, but we will be meeting with the Department of State to come up with a list of core documents that need to be translated. We will probably start sharing the translations in about 3 to 4 weeks from now, but we will send out a message to all of the participants, letting them know when the translated documents will be available, what documents they can expect to see, and how they can access those translations. So please be on the lookout for some communications from us in the coming weeks. Fourth, the Excellence website will be up for 1 month. What does that mean? This means you can continue to access the on-demand sessions of all of the summit that we've had this week, and you access those on-demand videos by using the link and the password that you received, and you can watch them at any time over the next 30 days. So please enjoy. And for those of you who missed the summit, if you know people who missed certain sessions or did not register for the summit, within the coming 30 days, they can register for the summit and use the link that they get from Accelerants to access all of the sessions from the summit. So please continue to get the word out there. There are lots of African youth. There are lots of YALI alumni who may not have been able to join us, but please let them know that they can still register and participate and benefit from the very rich discussions that we had this week. We will send out some information on how they can do that, and we ask that you share this on your social media platforms so that as many, many young people can continue to benefit from this summit. With that, let me come to some very important thank yous. We know on the continent that when you have an undertaking as big as this, there are usually many, many people in the background who are working hard, unseen, to make the program a success. What I do know that this summit would not have been possible without many hands behind the scene. I cannot thank them all. I know that Liz and Michael, POCs over at the Department of State, could not thank all of them, even if we had a full day to do so, in terms of the number of people in the background who supported us. So to all of you, you know who you are. On behalf of all of us that were planning this summit and implementing the summit, thank you so much for your input, for your ideas, the support, the encouragement, and above all, your belief in YALI and in Africa's youth. We thank you one and all for all of those contributions. Thank you. I really want to thank the Department of State, not just for being at the forefront of YALI, but for entrusting the center as a core partner in this YALI at 10 summit. We know how precious this program is to the US government at all levels. And we were honored at the Wilson Center to have had this privilege of working with the Department of State on something that they treasure heavily to put on this YALI 10 summit. I especially want to thank the two POCs that we had, points of contact and partners that we had at the Department of State. Liz, whom you see on the video here, but also Michael Hayes in the background. Michael, Liz, thank you so much for working with us every step of the way on the summit. Third, I want to thank all of the speakers and the moderators, too numerous to mention by name, who have participated and contributed to the summit. You brought substantive knowledge, communication skills, and a commitment to YALI that fueled our discussions and ensured that our discussions were not just engaging, but forward-leaning. We heard all of you when you said to us at the beginning of this summit that we are tired of just focusing on the doom and gloom that so many people see in Africa. We want to tackle those challenges head on, but we want to have a discussion about what can we do to overcome some of these challenges? What can we do to amplify the opportunities that exist on the African continent? And I thought our speakers and our moderators were absolutely fantastic at enabling us to do just that. Fourth, I really want to thank the Wilson Center team. While the Africa program has been in the lead, this summit from our end would not have been possible with the without the help of the entire Wilson Center. I especially want to thank my boss, Ambassador Mark Green, and his team up in the executive office, our VP for Scholars and Program, the Wilson Center's audiovisual financial management team, our facilities team, and all of the Wilson Center colleagues who stepped up as speakers and moderators. I cannot thank you enough, and I cannot say enough just how much I value being a part of this team at the Wilson Center. Liz already mentioned the YALI Advisory Council. I know that the Department of State and us here at the Wilson Center have really appreciated what these young people from across the continent have brought to conceptualizing the summit, to recommending speakers, to promoting the summit, to just really getting everything organized and implemented in a way that they felt would be beneficial to YALI and to the long-term objectives of this program. So I thank all of you on the YALI Advisory Council for everything that you have brought to this summit over the last few months. Your contributions really have inspired all of us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I know you played a critical role, particularly in the entertainment, and it has been fantastic. So we thank you all for everything that you have done. It has been wonderful and a privilege to work with you. I normally don't do this, but I want to say a thank you to the Africa program team. I have been the public face of the Wilson Center in this program, but I can assure you that the real work has been done behind the scenes by people you don't get to see, who are really the ones who have ensured that this program has come to fruition from the Wilson Center's end. I am privileged to work with this young and hardworking group of professionals, and I'm really honored. And so if you'll allow me just to recognize them by name, Hannah, Gamu, Sharazad, Catherine, Mark, and Kiara, thank you so much for your contributions. We couldn't have done this without you. We appreciate you. I also want to thank a former colleague, Ian Garaki, who's no longer with us, but was really instrumental in planning this. So thank you. My biggest thank you, and this is where I'm going to end it though, is to all of you, the participants. The summit would not have achieved what we've achieved without you, the YALI alumni and youth across the continent. Your engagement this week has been top tier. You have inspired all of us through the positive changes that you are making on the continent, inspired all of us through the engagement on issues confronting Africa, inspired all of us with your positive energy, leadership, and vision and commitment to the continent. You truly are Africa's future. What I want to do, and I know that Ambassador Godek will be speaking big picture, what we have done this week. But what I wanted to do is just conclude with this. It's not for us to say what success has been, but it is for you. So as you look at the survey and give us the feedback, here are some things that I want you to think about. For us, this summit will have been a success if it has provided you with an opportunity to celebrate YALI and its contributions. If it has demonstrated the commitment of the United States to Africa and to Africa's youth. If it has allowed you to engage in policy discussion, reinforced your commitment to servant leadership. If it has allowed you to engage in professional development opportunities, enabled you to connect with others. If it has reinforced for you that you are at the center of Africa's transformation and that you have been a part of crafting the vision. Several of you have reached out to me in terms of the key takeaways, and I'll highlight 4 from all of you on the continent. Your agency is important, and then I will conclude. You said to us that your biggest takeaway from the summit is that for real, Africa is rising and Africans take the lead. That I could feel a perfect hope for African governance and the ability of the young generation to analyze what they can do in their unique perspectives to strengthen the autonomy of Africa's economy, justice, peace, and governance. Another one of you said your biggest takeaway from the summit is that young people are ready and willing to seize any opportunity at their disposal to move the continent forward. A third one of you said to us, YALI is a transformational movement. In the view of these facts, you took away from this summit that alumni must mobilize the youth of Africa to transform the socioeconomic status of the continent rapidly before the end of the decade. And that, as B. Floor stated, success is not success until it is successive. Another one of you said to us, through this summit, you have come to the conclusion that we can actually be the lead agents of transformation, of development of the continent, if we, the youth, believe in ourselves to take up the responsibilities of leadership. And a final one, and this is really important for us, you recognize the connection between the United States and Africa. That a key takeaway from you was that this summit gave you a reassurance that the Biden-Harris administration is committed to US-Africa relations, that it's pledging to harness Africa's demographic dividend. So that reassurance, continued reassurance of the US government's commitment to you, the youth of Africa, and to stronger US-Africa relations came through very powerfully. My call to action to you is I hope you have seen different US government officials, private citizens this week that are standing with you in terms of what you're trying to achieve on the African continent. All I ask, and it has come through, is that you remember on whose shoulders you stand, at home and globally. And that the biggest compliment that you can pay those on whose shoulders you stand is to reach back, amplify what you've learned through YALI. You're already doing it, but I hope this summit gave you that energy to amplify, reach thousands more people across the continent. And you shall transform the African continent. And so with that, I want to say to all of you, the vision that you articulated in the sessions this morning will come alive because you are Africa's future. You are the lifeblood of the continent. We know you got this. We know that Africa's youth will absolutely enable the continent to realize its full potential. So all I say to you is go get it, go YALI, go, and let's see if we can expand, deepen, and really grow YALI based on the vision that you articulated this morning. So thank you so much for your contributions, your participation, and keep up with the good work. And with that, it is now my pleasure to introduce our YALI alumni, Al Hassan. Oh, is he here with us? I don't.
Neza's here.
All right. I'll introduce Eneza, who's Eneza Grace from Rwanda, who's also a member of the YALI Advisory Committee, to give a vote of thanks on behalf of all of YALI. Eneza, over to you.
Can you hear me? Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me out?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to give the vote, the note of vote on behalf of the YAK community, but first of all, on behalf of Al Hassan. So we have been honored to be part of this entire process. We want to give a special shout out to all the members of the YAK and the Wilson Center team and all the speakers and participants for this week, because they enabled us to have a summit that proved that we have a strong relationship between the USA and the Africa in a way that brings us a strong and hold the promises for a future. As we all have heard, we are able now to say that we are able to have a future by African for Africans. We are optimistic for the progress that will happen across the continent, because now more than ever, the youth are able to engage and ready to participate. It has taken blood, sweat, and tears to get out here and do what we have done. But the most important thing is that we have begun and we are on a journey for a better future. Let's work together to make the world just a little bit of a better place for our children and for the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eneza. Let me turn it over to Liz to introduce our next speaker to close off the summit.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. And I just want to echo Monde's thanks to the team at the Wilson Center, to our advisory committee, to everyone out there, Michael Hayes, and others who helped make this happen. As she said, we can't name them all because we'd be here all day. And I know we're already short on time, but I will give one final shout out to YAC committee member Stephen Selassie Asuo, who's a 2016 RLC alumnus and founder and CEO of YALI TV, the premier television and online platform showcasing inspiring and informative stories of young Africans across the continent and beyond. He has been instrumental in putting together the entertainment and some of the promotion for this event. And you may have seen him in the keynote with Serge Ibaka. I just want to say thank you to you, Stephen, for all that you do over at YALI TV. And so with that, without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our closing speaker, Robert Godek, the Acting Assistant Secretary for the Bureau of African Affairs. He previously served as the Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary and as Deputy Assistant Secretary in the Bureau of African Affairs, Prior to these assignments, Ambassador Godek was Deputy Commandant and International Affairs Advisor at the National War College. He also previously served as U.S. Ambassador to Kenya and is Acting Deputy Chief of Mission and Minister Counselor of Economic Affairs at the U.S. Embassy in Pretoria. Over to you, Ambassador Godek. Thank you.